Hi, you guys, it's Denise Cooper, and yes, I'm listening to Johnny, and welcome back. Hi, guys. It's been a long time. It seems like it's been a long time. I am, I guess, ready. It's 9:01. Ooh, I think I clicked it at 9, though. I think I did. Hi, Kia Danae. Hi, KT. Hi, Alicia, pretty brown-eyed reader. Hi, Frenchie D. At 4 o'clock in the morning. Hopefully, you can join us. Hi, Musical Toddy. Hi, everyone. Hi, Denise Rader. And I'm going to check and make sure that we are actually live. Oops, and there I am. There I be. And there's Johnny. Hold on just a second. All right, so we're 35 seconds in, and I am going to go ahead and start tonight. It feels right. No, anyway, it feels great to be back on Booktube Live talking to everyone, and hopefully you will join me. Hopefully I will have some conversation about independent writers, indie publishing houses, fantastic 5-star books, fantastic 4-star short story collections, and a whole host of other things. But you know, if we do the other things, then that means that I'll go over, and I really don't want to go over because it's just the first time back since I've retired. And I hope you can hear me because Johnny is playing, but you know I need him, and so we'll turn him down a little bit. Hi, one watching. How you doing? Hopefully you guys will join me in the chat room. If you are coming across this channel, we talk about books, we talk about writers, we talk about the Blackout Year in books, where I read nothing but African-American authors. And I've done that before. It's just that I'm doing it this year with the emphasis on writers that we haven't heard of, come across booktubes so much as I would like, and as a lot of people would like. I mean, we watch channels from people from everywhere. Kamal over in Poland and everywhere he goes to travel and purchase books, and Frenchie D over in Paris, and just Canada, Nigeria, Mathis, all over the place. And I always like watching people from all over the United States with their book hauls and their book discussions and their reviews and what have you. And when you go across the water, you get all these different books suggested to you. So I'm so here for that. But these are some books that I have never heard of, writers I have never heard of, and I have fallen in total infatuated love. Or it could be real, depending on my fantasy. Anyway, so I'm going to turn off the Johnny, or actually just turn him down, or pause him, because that's what I do. Yeah, I didn't slurp though. I didn't slurp. I just shook the ice, and therefore, so forth and so forth and so forth. Anyway, this is Denise Cooper. This is the Blackout, baby. It's the Blackout, baby. It's the Blackout, baby. Say what? It's the Blackout. And I am going to go ahead and get started with talking about my first book. I'm all up close and personal. Can you see my dimple? Anyway, I'm going to be talking about two books. Two books tonight, because if I go off on a tangent and show you everything that I've been receiving, oh my gosh, we're going to go into the second hour, which we've done several times here. Hi, Stephen Massey. Hi, Marley Massey. Anyone that is joining in, hello. And of course, Nicole, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in such a long time. Nicole watches while she's painting. She is an artist as well, or creating, whatever she is doing. And hi, Pretty Brown Out Reader. Hopefully you will be able to catch some of the live. If not, you guys know it is recorded. I say that each time because sometimes people will send me messages and say, oh my gosh, I missed the live. But it's recorded. It's recording right now, and it'll be on like about 3 or 4 minutes after live turns off. So it gives YouTube a chance to, I guess, get everything that they need to do done. And you'll see the same talk all over again, and I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, so tonight the first book that I'm going to be talking about is Run by D.H. or D.E. Eliot. I almost said D.H. Lawrence because remember the book Sons and Lovers, and I kept thinking lovers. I'm so sorry, we're not. But anyway, I mean, okay, whatever Denise meant. But this is the first book I'm going to talk about. Yeah, it's in focus and stuff. It's beautiful and it feels good. Again, another feel-good book. I received this in the mail from the author, and I read it in March, and first things first, what I'll tell you is that it felt good. Like I was reading this book and I had this whole experience. Like he would mention like Mary J. Blige song, and I'd like, let me go put that song on, and I'd play that song, and he would mention this or that, and just had this whole relationship with this book, and it felt good. I laughed. I darn near cried. And there's a character in there that keeps sticking out in my mind. And her name is Denise. And let's go a little bit further. Her name is Denise Collins. So the D and the C and the D and the C. You see what he's doing here? He's calling me out. He doesn't even know me, but he's flirting with your girl. Anyway, seriously, I really loved her character because in everything right here in this book feels like right now, like it could happen today. It's not like some million, it's not some fantasy novel. It's not a historical novel. This is so 2000, and Denise Collins brings it even more present into the 2000s. And I say that, and I don't really want to talk about her character. She's the mother of a young man that's also in the novel. Oh my goodness, I kind of want to spoil it, but I won't, because it wouldn't be fair to you, because I want you to have the same exact experience that I had, getting to know Denise, getting to know Dale, getting to know all the Z's, Zachary, Zella, Zoe, Zendaya, and my favorite, and Zoe, who's like, I felt a kinship with Zoe. I did, and I'll talk about Zoe too. Felt a kinship with Zoe because Zoe's the youngest of the two siblings, and I'm the youngest, and she has this, like this, this freedom that she just rides through. And every time he brings up Zoe in the book, or she comes across the book, I get excited, like, there's Zoe. But anyway, and it's just kind of like a mirror of that rebellious attitude that little sisters can have sometimes. So I really enjoyed that aspect of her character. But Michael, oh my gosh. I think when I was just like falling in love with this whole book and this whole experience that I had with it, I like reached out to the writer, because you guys know, if you've been watching this channel, you already know. Yes, Denise did it again. I called, or wanted to call, the author, but I don't have his phone number because, I was looking it up. But I did send him a message, and my first 3 words to this person that I don't even know is, I love you. And I was like, oh my God. But that's how this book made me feel, like, oh my gosh, this is somebody that took care of his characters. Like I needed, as a reader, I needed for even the bad people, the bad elements in this book. This man that just basically rubs you raw and wrong, that is real, especially with what's going on in America now. Oh man, oh gosh, so right now with it is that character Dale. But what the writer does with Dale is something that I appreciated. He didn't just make him be in this book to be nasty. I mean, he was nasty we know these people. We experience this type of attitude. And what type of attitude am I talking? The racism, the and everything that goes along with it. And we can say a million things about it. However, what the book does, what the author does, is he has all these supporting people. It's like there's this competitive protagonist thing going on in this book, where you get so much from Michael that it weighs out the bad in Dale. You get so much from what's happened in this tragic accident that you get to see the mother of the child who's involved in the accident. You get to see the wife, the mother of the wife. You get to see the father of the wife, who is so comfy cozy that you just want to hug this man. Zachary is amazing in this book, and his wife Zella, I just wanted him to just strangle her sometime, but he gets his moment where he just sits back, and he's the calm of this book. So when you're mad at Dale, you need a Zachary in your life. And that's what I mean about this. He just totally took care of us as readers by introducing us to all these balanced out characters in such a harsh time in their lives. I wrote notes and I didn't even, I'm supposed to be going over the notes, and I'll check and see if you guys are here. If not, I'm going to keep on talking, and I actually will bring out my notes, because I do want to make sure that if anybody watches the recording like Nicole, then she will have something to listen to. And I do have a lot of tabs here. Let me make sure that you're seeing what I'm seeing and I'm seeing what you're seeing. Yeah, the tabs, so you can see them. Okay, so I have some tabs here because I do plan on reading some of what is going on in this book and what I loved about it. I can't read all the things that are tabbed because those are just some points in it that I liked. So when I do reread this book, this is a rereadable book to me. When I do reread it, I'm leaving the tabs, obviously, so I can go, why did Denise that read that book the first time tab this particular section? And I read over some of it tonight and I was like, oh, I will definitely reread this. Not this year, but I will reread this book. Oh my goodness. Okay, so first off, one of the first tabs I have, and the reason why I have it is because I think you guys, if you follow this channel, you know that sometimes repetitiveness in a book can kind of get on my nerves and I'm sure a lot of readers' nerves. And there was something that, and it wasn't happening in this book. The reason why I'm bringing it out is because I like the way he handled it in this book, that I hope that if other budding writers or even writers who have 10 or 20 books up under their belt would read something like this. And writers are always reading other people's works and getting inspired and learning different lessons in how to write. And this one can definitely teach some people a lesson on how to not constantly say the character's name over and over and over. There was one point years ago, maybe a year or two, that I read a page to you guys, and the author put the person's name in it like about 8 to 10 times on one page, and the page was short. It was a lot of dialogue, and it just kept saying the same name over and over and over and over and over. But what Mr. Eliot does in this particular book, when he's talking about one of the characters, he says their full name, then he mentions their nickname, and then even what the significant other may call them, which is different than the nickname that someone else may call them. And so, and then furthermore, you already know that that's the person we're talking about. And so he doesn't just like slap you silly with, saying their name over and over and just making you feel like you're just a boob head, like you didn't know, like you can't follow a story. And that is one of the best things that came out when I first initially started reading this book. Number one, the names are awesome. And then if you're going to just keep repeating them just because the names are clever, then it may have made me shut the book, but it didn't. It made me continue to go on because I was like, that's one of my things. This guy doesn't know me as a reader, but that is one of the things that I pay attention to, is constantly saying the character's name as if I can't follow, and just saying it over and over, like I just did that, kind of over and over. Are you bugged yet? Anyway, then this part right here. Now I will read this, but I do want to make sure that you guys can hear me. I hope you can hear me. If you are there, let me know what you're hearing. Okay. I just clicked off of you. Low disk space. I really don't care if I have low disk space as long as I'm live. And let me make sure that the chat is working. Did I not do something? Okay, so it's yellow. So I'm just going to keep on talking because you guys remember it's done that before. And I can see myself and it is lagging a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and read this one portion to you guys. And I might have to restart because if you don't say anything, the person that's watching, then I'm going to go ahead and restart it and make sure that everything is working. So let me do this to make sure the chat is working. This is so much fun. Not. Anyway, hold on, you guys. And let me go ahead and play Johnny. Let me see here. Can you hear? Here we go. Okay, so it worked when I did that, but it's still on yellow, so it might have a lot of lag. Yeah, I can see it. I'm just now doing what I did, like turning up. So we're going to have some lag. That's just how it's going to be. And unfortunately, this will record, so I'm going to keep on talking about the points in the book. And if you haven't noticed, I own a shirt that the author gave me. Let me stand up a little bit so you can see it a little bit more. Hold on. Check it out. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh. Yeah, they are. Anyway, I'm going to keep on talking. I'm also going to read. So this is a point in the book that I was like, gosh, he's going everywhere from just, I mean, literally, this is only on page 4. And you guys know how I do. I read the forwards, I read introductions, I read everything. So up until this point, there are some books, some things to read, even though this is just on page 4. This is a good setup to basically get to know the writer. And it's an author's note. And it's funny. Number one thing that I loved about this book is even though it was a serious book, it had some moments in there where you are just going to laugh out loud. And it's almost that laughter like the writer is talking directly to you and he's just pushing your funny bone a little bit. I totally love that. And I took that as flirting, foreplay, whatever you want to call it. I was there. So anyway, to be read before purchase, it says. First things first, and then he talks about the book, and then second thing second, and third thing third, and then it just goes on. There's an actual, let me see here, go back, go back, go back. This is all in the beginning before you get to chapter 1, you guys. The prologue, right? The accident before. That's not spoiling it. That's in the prologue, right? And then goes the book. And on page 4, I found this beautiful gem, which I was like, I had that thought. I want to put that in a book. Yeah. So this is him talking about Job, right? Job was just minding his own damn business one day when the good Lord and Satan decided to play a game of chess with this poor guy's life. The more Michael thought about this story, the more he felt ill at ease. Not because Satan hated Job for loving God the way he did. That made perfect sense. No, what was most disturbing about the story was how easily God allowed Satan to influence his actions. God destroyed this man's entire life to prove a point. He took everything from Job, which was what Satan wanted God to do in the first place. Evidence notwithstanding, Job's faith did not falter, not even a little. In the end, God replaced what was taken from Job with the new things, with new things. He replaced all the damages with new things, a new wife, new kids, new health, new riches. The Lord replaced the goods and then was done with it. He did this as if it were cool to destroy a man's life as long as you gave the man some new shit in return. I was like, oh my God, let me read that again. And because I used to have that thought and I go, oh man, I'm so bad. I'm just this bad, evil person to even think like that about what I believe. And to see this in a book was like, ooh, oh my gosh, ooh. But that was like, I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but I think KT would appreciate that. I think Alicia, I think a lot of people would appreciate that being in a book. And it may be mirroring some thought that you have. But the beautiful part about it is that you can play that devil's advocate and be okay with God still. And so I really appreciated that. Yes, I did, Mr. Eliot. I did. And let me check again, make sure, because again, I can't hear me. I can only see me. And so therefore, usually, it's frozen again. I think I'm going to stop and then start over. But if I do, and it's recording, then it's just going to be a waste of time, which I really don't want to waste my time or anybody else's. So if you can hear me, just let me know. If not, I'll keep talking. Like I said. Now, another thing I wanted to mention, this was a quote that I listened to today when I was watching Tahiri Jones talk about her book, An American Marriage. She said, you could never confuse the marketing with the book, because she was talking about the gems inside of the book and how sometimes you can look at a book and the cover is just not, it's just not hitting it. And when we as readers are going to bookstores and browsing and going up and down those aisles and looking at all those beautiful covers and some not so good covers, you kind of pass by those covers. And the thing that I thought when she said that, and she wasn't making it like you couldn't debate with her type of thing, it's just something that she said, and I thought about that and I liked it. But what I also thought was sometimes I've done that where even if the cover's ugly, I just open up the book and I start reading it for my own. And I know I'm not the only reader that does that. But something does happen when the marketing is really good and it's an introduction to you as a first-time writer that is very important. Um, so the cover, the marketing, reaching out to people and conversing with them about your book is also a beautiful thing. So if the cover is and the marketing is not, you know, enticing enough to a reader, what's on the inside definitely needs to be on point and snag at us and makes us want the second or third or fourth book. However, the two books that I've read and are talking about tonight had no issues with the marketing. I am a visual person, I'm an artist, and so when I read that quote or listened to that quote by Teresa Jones and wrote it down, I'm thinking a lot of gems on the inside, whether of a really bad cover or the marketing is terrible, then hi Stephanie. Um, okay, the message just went away. Um, what I wanted to say was when the marketing is not so great and the writer is not thinking about that portion, because they're not a visual, they're more mentally stimulated by what they wrote and know that that will win the reader over. So the marketing sometimes gets past people, and then the book, you know, says so much more. And you as a reader, you found this gem, you think, oh my gosh, I need to tell everybody about it. But for both of these books that I'm talking about tonight, had no issues at all. The covers are beautiful, and inside is even better because I forgot about how she looked on the outside because, you know, our imaginations will go and take us there. And then, of course, the writer coaxes us along to how she is looking to his eye or her eye. And I loved it. So I'm going to check something because I just saw a message pop up from Stephanie. So let me check and see what's going on. And I'll turn Johnny on because you guys know somebody's got to be. I don't like little pauses. I don't even like little pauses like what I'm doing now, but there's something, there's an issue and I can see it. But we're going to try to see if we can fix it. Hold on. What was that face, Denise? I don't even know. Okay, so I'm going to check this out, and while I do, I'm going to sip on some tea. Great marketing, I tell you. Okay, so I am actually checking the message, and I'll get with you in just a second, you guys. And let me bring this up so I can see what you're saying. Okay. Okay. There we go. All right, so hi, Stephanie, and I am actually looking here. I think I'm in the right place, she says. So let me make sure. Hello, guys. Anyway, if you can hear me, just let me know. If not, I am actually might have to start this over because I do see that there was an error and there's a lot of lag. And we're on the new YouTube Live, and it says it was easier. However, when I click on it, it chooses the camera on my laptop and not the camera that, you know, that I purchased that looks a lot better. And so I chose to go the old route. So hopefully that's not an issue because it still says I'm live. And I think I'm in the right place. Said your painting is, and I didn't get a notification. Okay, so let me go ahead and send her a message back. So actually, you guys, I think there is an issue again, like I said. So let me just send her a message real quick. So I am live now, and maybe some issues. I'm typing with one hand, Stephanie, so if you can see me, some issues. So basically, no one's got the notification, so she just let me know that she didn't get a notification. Issues. If I can spell with one finger. Yeah, welcome back, Denise, to the new YouTube Live. Let me send that down. All right, so I'm going to take that down. That's the message I just got, and I wanted to respond to because obviously there's an issue. So I'm going to shut this live off and move on from here.